to also launch the direct on LinkedIn and make sure that everyone can also enjoy this moment with Women in Africa and AXA. Thank you, Eloise, for putting us live. Welcome, everyone. I'm SEYNABOU. I'm a Senior Program Manager at Women in Africa, and I'm actually based in Senegal. And don't hesitate to tell us in the chat and comment and say where you are listening, where you are watching us, maybe what is the weather, what is your mood, because yeah, myself, I have a very bright sun actually that I needed to hide, otherwise I could not see the screen. So yeah, the weather is beautiful in Senegal as well. So thanks for joining us for this Revelation webinar. Hello from Paris. I see Alexandra from Paris. So do as Alexandra and introduce yourself in the chat and tell us where you are. So we are very pleased to welcome you for this Revelation webinar with AXA, the Health Revelation. And as we are used to do at Women in Africa, we want to celebrate a woman entrepreneur. And today we are celebrating Lutchmee, who is our health revelation at WIA54, our flagship program dedicated to women entrepreneurs, dedicated to support what we call the backbone of Africa. So thanks for joining us for this celebration. But first of all, allow me to introduce Khaled el Shaarany, our partner at AXA, CEO of AXA Africa Health, who is today representing AXA and is very pleased to have this conversation with Lutchmee so that we'll get to know who she is and what she is doing and how she's impacting Africa with her health company. So Khaled, you are the CEO of AXA Africa Health since April 2021. And you are leading AXA healthcare business in Africa, launching and operating AXA OneHealth Medical Center in Egypt, where you are based, and in Nigeria also, with a focus of state-of-the-art medical services and industry-leading patient experience. And you are an Egyptian and French national, and you are graduate from the University of Warwick in the UK and the HEC School of Management in France. And you began your career early in 20 as a strategy consultant, and later you become the director at Simon Kucher and partner at Paris office. You joined AXA Group headquarters in 2010 and the head of strategic marketing head of the strategic marketing task with building AXA digital and customer strategy. And we know today in 2022 how digital is important in AXA solution. So Khaled, after that you appoint as the head of group strategy planning and help developing AXA long-term vision and the group's 5-year strategy. And you also was responsible for the group annual strategy planning process and M&A screening. And Khaled, you just moved in Egypt in 2016 as the CEO of AXA Life Egypt and the Deputy CEO of AXA Group of companies in the country, where you oversaw the life of emerging customer line of business, strategy, partnership, digital, again, data and marketing. What a great profile, and also we are very honored to have you today and welcome you for this Health Revelation webinar. Welcome to you, Khaled.
Hello, SEYNABOU, and thank you very, very much for inviting me.
Thank you so much for also joining us. And I will continue with this partnership and this journey between WIA and AXA. And my first question is about this sponsorship of women in Africa. Why did you decide at AXA to sponsor Women in Africa 54, this flagship program which support women entrepreneurs?
Well, first of all, let me thank you for the initiative and the exciting work that Women in Africa does. It's extremely awe-inspiring and inspiring in every sense for us as companies, for us as mentors, and to see the wonderful entrepreneurs that develop and flourish under your guidance and your sponsorship and your help. So what you do is amazing, and I'm a big fan, and I really hope that this year's edition will be as successful as the previous ones. Why is AXA sponsoring Women in Africa? Well, if you mentioned that I was in charge of the group strategy, if you have any sense of long-term thinking in business, then you know that the future is on the African continent. Everybody would agree that beyond Asia, the locomotive for growth of the world economy will come from the African continent. Its size, its population, its diversity, the potential markets and the potential resources is just an unavoidable aspect to talk about Africa. And if you're talking about Africa, then you cannot talk about the better half of Africa, which from all angles is the backbone and the recipe of success for the continent. If we look at some very specific data, according to the African Development Bank, we know that women reinvest out to 90% of their income in education, health, and food and insurance of their families and communities. That goes down, that compares to 40% for men. So we know that any investment we do in women is the investment in the whole continent and then the new generations and in the economy. It's just a very basic question of investing in the half is investing in the whole. So sponsoring Women in Africa is sponsoring Africa and is a no-brainer.
And that's just a logical mathematics. So it's very logical to also support the woman in Africa. And we know that also you are not only supporting women in Africa by sponsoring us, you are also involved in everything we are doing. And this year, AXA, you expand the number of mentors with WIA54. Why have you done that? You could just say that, okay, we just sponsor you and then let you do the job. But you are also going on the field and working with us as in the mentoring program. Why did you decide to be engaged in that program?
Well, first, it's all down to the quality of the women entrepreneurs that are in the program. I mean, how can you choose out of all the list of, talents and entrepreneurs that have been identified? And why would you choose only 3 or 4 or 5? You need to be there. And it is so exciting to hear about all these projects and all of these future stars and future impactors of the economy that it's very exciting to be involved. It's very exciting to be on the ground. We learn a lot from them, and we are very much enriched by their experience and feel enriched by being able to support a little bit or give an advice or help or a different point of view that could take them to the next step of their journey. And at AXA, when we there's a huge queue of potential mentors. Everybody's fighting, to be part of this wonderful project. And we have a long list of colleagues from all over the world. And this year we have many Asian colleagues who are coming from AXA Asia that wanted to, share it. So that it's not just a North-South discussion, but also a real international expression of collaboration, idea generation, brainstorming, and le mélange, as we say, of profiles and ideas. So we have different profile CEOs, strategists, marketeers who are extremely excited to support. And when we know that it's valuable for our mentees, and it's extremely valuable for us as well.
Yeah, and I can testify that I can see how you are very excited to be mentors, all of these manager partner working in Asia, French, and in the continent also Africa, to join this program and just willing to learn also with the woman entrepreneur, because they have so much also to share. And this is also what we want to build with women in Africa. It's just not only supporting women, because also women, this woman entrepreneur as Lutchmee has so much to give also, and we have so much to learn from them. So, and I know that also you are very involved to support women in the workplace. Can you tell us a little bit more about this support you are putting in the workplace?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, AXA, as many companies, we are very much driven by our values, and our values are very important into the decisions we make and the strategies we put. And there is no scenario in the world we live in where the empowerment of women is not at the heart of every action that any group of people, male and female, should be doing. So supporting women and empowering them across the landscape, be it as an employer, be it as customers, or be it as supporters of women entrepreneurs, is just what every company driven by values should be doing. And this is what we do. So for example, in our business, of course, like we focus on in hiring and the developing and the diversity in what we do, and in supporting women to get access to senior positions, in supporting the work-life balance of families, in making sure that our workforce is a real representation of the planet we live in. And it's just, again, it's the better half, and it's normal that we look at it as a whole picture. Gender parity is at the heart of our strategy and our people strategy. It's something that we strive for every day, and we continue to invest in the education and the financial literacy programs of all the markets we are present in. The situation is not the same in France, in Japan, or in Senegal, or in Egypt. So we are conscious that we are using different tools for the development of women, and of our customers and of our partners in every country we work in.
Yeah, definitely. You were talking about how it looked like the workplace, and today we are living in this big and great village. And I just wanted to say hi to all these people listening us also on LinkedIn, from Morocco, from Conakry, from Nigeria, Ethiopia, from Tunisia, and also from again Morocco. You have a message from Fatima saying that. This is thank you, Khaled, to be involved in also this mentoring program. You are also listening us from Togo, and thank you all of you for joining us even on our LinkedIn page to follow this webinar, this revelation webinar. And also I know that as Fatima was saying on LinkedIn, the mentoring program is very important for entrepreneurs. And I know that you are personally also pleased to mentor to be mentor for our health laureate, to be the mentor of Lutchmee. So this is the private history also in this conversation, is that Khaled is also mentoring Lutchmee. Why did you also decide to be personally involved in for supporting women entrepreneurs and also Lutchmee?
Let me start from the generic and the business perspective, and then I will go into Lutchmee's particulars, the exchanges that we've had. OneHealth and AXA Africa Health, the company I am managing, has been started from the vantage point of the fact that we were the #1 health insurer in Africa, in the many countries where we operate, like Nigeria, like Egypt, and like others. When you are the #1 health insurer, it's very immediate. You see the gap in the healthcare services and the healthcare provision on this continent. Every single country is lagging behind. Every single country needs to invest its infrastructure in its facilities, because healthcare is really not where the demand is. There is not enough offer. There is not enough quality. There is not enough investment. There is not enough infrastructure. You see that very well from our positioning as an insurer. So AXA decided to invest in healthcare business, to invest in health services and to open its own medical centers, to have its own digital health facilities, to work with doctors so that we help in bridging the gap in healthcare and improve its quality, which in turn is going to be beneficial for our insurance business. That's the starting point of our interest in healthcare. So when I look at the different revelations and the different women entrepreneurs, of course, Lutchmee's profile caught my attention immediately. It's a natural fit, and Lutchmee is amazing. She is doing work in a very specific, innovative field, the field of clinical research. That's very advanced, and it's a very complex operation and a very complex contribution. And seeing that happening by an African entrepreneur in Africa for Africans, we'll hear about that in a second, was really very exciting for me. And I thought it's completely in line with what we are trying to do as well. So I am here to learn from Lutchmee, and if I can support and give her some advice, I'm extremely happy to do it as well. And I feel that this is a partnership made in heaven. You know, it's a good match.
It's a good match, and I really feel that like it's a beginning of a very big other history. And I'm very confident that this mentoring journey will bring you very far. And I'm also very happy maybe in 2 years to come back here and to talk about everything you've done together. And I'm sure that we are going to have a lot of success stories to share between AXA and Lutchmee. So this is also the time for you, Khaled, to start this conversation with Lutchmee, because we were talking about healthcare and also AXA, how you are involved in that. And now I think that is the time to listen from Lutchmee and learn about what she's doing, learn about her experience on healthcare in Africa, because as you said, she is working on a very critical topic, and data, specifically in healthcare, is very critical and very important for us. And we are very honored to have Lutchmee as our health relations. So I give you the floor so that you start the conversation with her.
Thank you very much, SEYNABOU. Lutchmee, hello. How are you?
Hello.
Of course.
Hello,
of course,
hello.
it's good to see you. We've had the chance to talk for several long hours over the past weeks, as I have the honor of mentoring you and exchanging with you and your team. I've already met you and learned a little bit about you and about the extremely exciting business that you are running as an entrepreneur. I'm already very inspired and in awe about the complexity that you are dealing with, and I'm very happy to be conducting this interview with you today, so that more people discover your contribution and your ideas. So you have been born and raised in Mauritius, but you have had a very international education and beginning to your career. I would like you please to share with us a little bit about who you are and your story, and what took you to where you are today.
First of all, I am really honored to be here, to be part of this wonderful WIA family, and to have you, Khaled, as my mentor. That's really a big opportunity for me. So, as you said, I come from Mauritius, which is known as the multicultural gem in the Indian Ocean. I grew up in a middle-class family, but where the 5 pillars were education and hard work, family strength, openness to the others, ethics and respect to the others, the right to believe in our dream. So at the age of 18, my parents allowed me to take off to join the prestigious Parisian University of Denis Diderot, where I was graduated in cell biology, physiology, and pathology.
So, born and raised in Mauritius, educated in France, and what made you choose this very, specific area to learn from and to do your education in?
In fact, I have always dreamed to be part of, this evolving industry, this to develop new medicine, to work, to develop health sector in any point. And it is why, in fact, I decided to go in Paris for these studies. And in 2008, I started my adventure in clinical research industry with 2 of the top 4 CROs. And I have been working in numerous studies in Europe and have been working in all phases of clinical research. During this adventure, I had the opportunity to participate at different positions, which gave me a clear vision over the life cycle of clinical research. Meanwhile, in Mauritius, there was something which was happening. The legal framework to conduct clinical trials, the Clinical Trial Act, was being implemented. And you see, all these ingredients, these legislations, my professional experience, my inherited entrepreneurial mind, and my dream to participate in the development of Mauritian Medical Hub showed me my business opportunity. At this point, 2015, Clinear Research was born. I went back to Mauritius and implemented this company. My job was then to connect this Clinical Trial Act, the highly qualified compatriots locally, the local vendors, and the international market customers.
Wow, so it's a little bit the case of also being the right woman at the right place at the right time. And with Mauritius deciding to invest in that area, and with you having this very specific and advanced experience, you definitely were at the right place at the right time with the right knowledge. But so I'll pause here for a second, because you mentioned clinical research, you mentioned CRO, you're using terms that are maybe not familiar for everybody. So can you, when you decided to launch Clinear Research in a very specialized field like this, I think you owe it to us to explain a little bit what clinical research is and how Clinear positions itself on the value chain that of clinical research, so that everybody understands what we talk about.
Yeah, in fact, we have been hearing a lot of clinical research, clinical trials, and new medical trials, new vaccine with new pandemics. But I will take the definition of a WHO. The WHO define clinical research as any research that prospectively assigns human participants to the health-related interventions to evaluate the effects on health outcomes. In other words, the main activities of clinical research would be to select and plan, that is, design protocol and select the treatment that will be implemented, implement the treatment and recruit new patients, collect the data of the efficacy and the risk of the treatment, identify and analyze the risk and benefit, evaluate the data, and lastly, marketing the treatment. In other words, to summarize all this, this would mean that these activities will verify and validate every and all drugs sold at your pharmacy and that are taken by you. So what does Clinear Research do in that? Clinear Research provides its supporting consultancy in a new multi-ethnic niche, because this clinical research has over part of the world, and now we are having other people with all ethnicity, which are non-Caucasian people. So we do this with 3 P's in our mind. Our concern are patient, people, and procedure. All this is about quality. Our goal would be to deliver a service with a constant concern on the patient's interest, with a European standard, which I learned, and the well-known Mauritian empathy.
Okay, so that means that any medicine that we are going to take is tested through a clinical research program that you could be designing, that you could be implementing, that you could be executing, that you could be getting the learnings of to ensure that this is a safe medicine, an efficient and impactful medicine to all types of population to take. And basically, you are a key component in the development of healthcare products and healthcare medicine.
Exactly. In fact, what is important is to decide whether the treatment is safe, which is very important, and is benefic for the people who take it.
Right, right. And that's, of course, one of the most noble missions one can be imagining. So you have not only a wonderful expertise, but a very noble purpose that you work for. But to me, one of my biggest convictions is that for any kind of idea to be sustainable, it has to be solid from a business perspective. But because only if your business is thriving that you are able to achieve your objectives. So from a business perspective, what services do you offer your customers?
We assist our clients in their clinical development capabilities by providing consulting expertise in different services, that is from medical writing, site monitoring and management, trial management, patient recruitment, regulatory affairs, clinical data management, and project management. In fact, we propose a tailor-made service to our client. We are flexible to their needs, to what are their requirements.
Okay, so I guess this is somehow something that is available in many countries and especially in the advanced markets. But what is the African twist of Clinear Research on that front? Because I imagine that there is something special that links your African roots and your Madagascar roots with what you're doing.
I will summarize this in 3 major points. These are reduction of operational cost, the genetic diversified and naive patient. What I mean by naive patient, that is patient who has not taken treatment before, and this is very important in clinical research, and tailor-made treatment. As I already said before, for the moment, treatment are adapted for Caucasian people. Now, what would be important is to adapt the treatment to other part of the world. Our ultimate and most ambitious goal is to export this, Mauritian business model, this operational model to Africa in order to develop specifically Pan-African clinical research. In other words, I would say health for Africans, by Africans in Africa, but with the same rights as northern countries. Why can't Africa participate in this demanding and ever-changing industry? Africa can offer some of the best conditions for conducting clinical trials. Yet, there are some serious drawbacks, both for the clinical trial sponsors, but also for the African people themselves. For the sponsors' perspective, they are missing out on the opportunity to conduct cheap research on diverse patient population who have never experienced any treatment for these diseases. For African people, as I said before, they have the ability to get cheap, expensive treatment adapted to themselves and which are not necessarily accessible to them otherwise. We know that some diseases are more prevalent in certain ethnic groups, and the genetic makeup can factor greatly in a person's response to the treatment. This means that, you can't necessarily extrapolate results from Netherlands patients and then assume that the result will be the same for the Gabonese patient. It is imperative that studies are carried out locally, since the genetic diversities between disease like cancer, diabetes, found individuals in a particular region of Africa compared to individuals from the Caucasian descent. I would again insist on one thing. Africa is one of the most genetically diverse regions in the world.
So I'm so inspired, but what you just said, it's just so inspiring. Basically, what you are saying is that one of the most populous areas of the world, one of the most important areas of development of the whole world, is not properly addressed by the pharmaceutical industry today. Not only because medicine development and treatment development is concentrated in the economies in the north, but also are developed, tested with ethnicities in mind that are not the Africans. And what you are proposing is nothing short of fabulous. It's just basically bringing healthcare industry and pharmaceutical industry attention to the African population, to the African people, with their diversity, with their genetical makeup, and with their needs, their specific needs, so that we can address and save lives and help people live a better life. And I find this is absolutely wonderful. And if there is any kind of noble purpose, I think you have. And from what I'm hearing, it seems to me, but I am not an expert, that it's a very underserved opportunity on the continent. I mean, do you have any competitors in that space?
Indeed, there are many identified and non-identified competitors. However, I would like to share one observation with you. Despite an African population representing more than 17.5% of the world's total population, Africa contributes only to 2.5% of the total number of clinical trials worldwide. Of these trials, the majority occur in Southern Africa, in Egypt, with many countries, many African countries, barely conducting any studies at all. What does that imply? This implies that the market share is very low. There is room for everyone. In an ever expanding market where the health issues are at the center of our societies, a lot of opportunities will arise, and there is space for every existing African CRO. The ecosystem of clinical research in Africa can still be improved and increased to grab more market shares in this expanding market. I personally am confident that there would be a fair distribution of this market in Africa. I am confident that African CRO will be able to compete with the northern CROs. What we can learn about this COVID pandemic is that it has proved that there might be partnership between the north, the south, and the east in the research health development.
Wow, that would be really a beautiful dream to witness, and I think you're really helping us go on that path with your energy and your vision. So tell us a little bit more. What do you want to achieve with your company, for your beloved Mauritius, the country where you grew up, but also for the African continent in general? How can Clinear Research make a difference? What do you want to achieve?
Our company's objective is to scale what I said before, our 3 Ps. We want to scale on our people. How? By elite training. This is our culture, our DNA. We want also to scale on the patient. How? By providing facilities to enroll more patients. We want to scale on our procedures by using, for example, the Deming method. Plan, act and do for all the services we provide. For our Mauritian target would be to host more clinical trials in the region, to train more experts, and to provide more infrastructures. Mauritius, can become the cornerstone of clinical trial in Africa. I would like also to say that the CRO services market in the Middle East and Africa has been anticipated to grow at 5.6, or let's say approximated to 6% of CAGR from 2021 to 2026. And it is estimated that in the Middle East and Africa market will achieve 2.46 billion United States dollar by 2026. My humble aim would be to participate in this adventure, and putting a spotlight on Africa on the scene of clinical research.
So not only you are aiming to revolutionize the health of all Africans, but there is good money to be made as well.
Yeah,
that's
right.
That's the best of both worlds. Excellent.
Mm-hmm.
Listen, I could listen to you talking for hours, and I realize we're already out of time. So I'll have just one last question for you, Lutchmee.
Mm-hmm.
Well, how do you see the future? What is going to take your company to the next steps?
The market is continuing to grow, and our aim is to implement ourselves in several countries in Africa. However, in this scaling period, we have to put in mind, we have to ensure that we maintain the same level of our services. To achieve this quest, it would be important to develop training school, to be able to hire qualified team, to increase our African network, to work with local entities, to implement a harmonized legislation. This is very important because Africa is a very diverse country. And finally, to develop strong company strategy and bring spotlight in Africa. And I would say, SEYNABOU and Khaled, this last point has already started with both of you. Khaled, with your mentorship, thank you so much, which is so valuable. And SEYNABOU and WIA with this visibility that you give on African women, on my company, on so many companies. So I would say merci de tout cœur, SEYNABOU, WIA, Khaled, AXA, pour votre soutien.
Thank you, Lutchmee. Thank you very much. Good luck to you and to all your team. You're all amazing and you're doing a great job. I'm very excited to be part of this journey.
Sorry, I think that Khaled...
And to discuss this with you for this mentorship.
It's okay, your network is back, Khaled. Please continue.
Okay, so I was just handing back over to you, SEYNABOU. I was just saying how excited I was to work with Lutchmee and the many ideas she has, and thank you for the opportunity from WIA to put us together and to support Clinear Research. Back to you, SEYNABOU.
Thank you so much, Khaled and Lutchmee. This was so a passionate conversation. I also myself, I will listen to you for hour and hour. We see how you are very close to this and on for talking about healthcare and having this common mission for Africa and for health in Africa. And we are very happy also to have AXA on our side to support a woman in Africa, but most of all to support women entrepreneurs in healthcare in the continent. So thank you so much. Don't hesitate to share this webinar on LinkedIn, still available. You can review it. And thank you also for making this, for being available, Khaled. We know how you are busy and you took the time for that and you were very happy to do it. So thank you so much again.
Thank you all.
Thank you all.
And let's connect very soon with other webinar to discover other WIA54 revelation in other sector, in the beauty, in creative industry, in digital and tech, and in fintech. So see you soon. Be safe and bye-bye. Au revoir.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.